murder case, the first plea in the case that drew international attention. Fox 13's Jeremy Pierre explains this major development.
We learned today that a grand jury also indicted Jamarcus Johnson on additional charges of accessory after the fact. Now, currently, Jamarcus Johnson is charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, but that very well may go away, possibly. Now, understanding that the DA's office says they learned new information that pointed to Jamarcus Johnson not even knowing or having a part in the plan to murder young Dolph. Take a listen.
The charges that have been filed now against Jamarcus make it clear that he did things afterwards. And so that's the conduct that is critical when looking at Jamarcus Johnson, is what was done afterwards.
Now, Jamarcus Johnson, you have to remember, is the half-brother of Justin Johnson, who's actually charged with the murder of a young Dolph. Jamarcus is expected to be back in court Friday, where he's expected to plead guilty to accessory.
Before I continue with this guilty plea colloquy, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Hagerman has asked the court's permission to ask you some questions. You waive your right to remain silent when you enter this guilty plea. So listen to the questions that Mr. Hagerman asked of you, sir. Make sure you answer those questions truthfully. You understand that? Because Mr. Hagerman and Ms. Mond said, Judge Dolph, we don't believe Mr.
Yes, sir. And when we talked, you told me about meeting with your half-brother, Justin. He's your half-brother, is that right? Yes, sir. You told me about meeting with your half-brother, Justin, about a week or so after the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr., is that right? Yes, sir. You told me at that time that he gave you a car, is that right? Yes, sir. You told me at that time he also gave you his cellular telephone, is that correct? Correct. You told me that, or did you tell me that afterwards you used that cellular telephone at his request? Yes, sir. Did you describe to me a scenario in which you would place one phone up to another while Justin was on another phone for the benefit of his parole or probation officer?
He was called to get somebody's number, and I would put my phone down on the bed, and I would put somebody else's phone right there and talk to me.
And you told me about the times that you did that, is that correct? Yes, and you also described times not just with the probation or parole officer, but also with an individual known to you as C. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And you now know that individual to be Cornelius Smith, is that right? Yes, and you described to me, and you turned this phone over, and in it were text messages with this individual C, is that correct? Yes, sir. And some of these text messages, some of what you witnessed was conversation with regard to money that Justin would be getting to see. Is that correct?
He asked for money, yes, sir.
Asked for money.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Because asking him money for somebody else, from somebody else.
Okay, and that somebody else was referred to as Unc. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Okay,
so this would be money that C asked for from Justin that Justin was going to get from Unc.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? You described all that to me.
Yes, sir.
You've also looked at some photographs that included one of your half-brother in a particular outfit, and you identified Justin Johnson, your half-brother, in the photograph.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that one day you may be called to testify in a trial in this matter?
Yes, sir.
Will you tell the truth that time?
Yes, sir.
Have you told the truth with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. No further questions.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in. And first and foremost, once again, I want to say condolences to the entire family of young Dolph, his kids, his woman, all his family members who are still going through it, his paper route team, anybody who dealt with young Dolph on the day-to-day and is still going through it with this loss. Most definitely, prayers up and condolences to all of them. Now, I'm going to have links in the description for Fox 13 and WREG out of Memphis, as it came out today that one of the murder suspects out of the four has decided to plead guilty for the charge of being an accessory after the fact. At first, they had him tied into the conspiracy. Then it came out that he would take the lesser charge and admit to what he did in this situation. Now, Y'all heard it for yourself right there in the courtroom. He has agreed to testify and admit to his knowledge, putting the phones up so Justin Johnson, his half-brother, could play a role and fool his probation officer. And I'm going to get into that write-up in just a second. But they said they did that to fool the probation officer. And he was discussing money, and he said he pointed him out on the pictures, and he would be willing to come in and testify. Well, he don't have a choice now because the deal will be revoked if he decides to not come in and testify in court and everything. And we've seen this going on a lot as of late in the rap game. And like I tell y'all, bro, let's get things to the point where niggas don't gotta kill each other. What's done here, it ain't none of my business on the outside of what's going on in the public, but we see this storyline again and again where niggas in the end have to go do prison time, and now we have family members of who lost their life. But the write-up says this. Prosecuting attorney Paul Hagerman said Jamarcus Johnson was not involved in the shooting of Adolph Thornton Jr., a.k.a. Young Dolph, or planning beforehand. But about a week after the shooting, he accepted a car and a cell phone from defendant Justin Johnson, his half-brother, to fool probation officers and aid Justin Johnson's escape from Memphis. Two suspects, Johnson Johnson and Cornelius Smith, were picked up by police in Indiana not long after. Authorities believe they were the gunmen in the incident. Hernandez Govan, 43, was indicted for first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Shelby County's district attorney says Govan is the man believed to have ordered the hit on Dolph. Govan's bond was paid. According to the Shelby County jail system, he was released on Thursday, May 11th. Let's change things in this case. The other guys are still innocent until proven guilty, but they supposedly have these text messages, as you heard right there. He's identified people in pictures, and he's talked about the discussion of the money and everything like that. And when that come into play inside the courtroom, take that to trial, it's going to be very hard to convince a jury that you are not the one guilty. I don't make the decisions on these things, but I tell y'all like this, bro, it's getting real out here. Niggas be in these beefs, this drama. Somebody gonna tell on you, bro. It ain't no killing nobody and getting away with it like niggas think it is a lot of the time, bro. I'm just telling people what it is. I advise niggas now, nigga, who involved in these type of things, bro, don't try to get together with no crew or no niggas to take nobody's life. You better off going ahead and just saying, bro, let me see if we can get past this beef. Or if I see that nigga, he see me, he go his way, I go my way, dog. I believe in communicating before it escalates to the point where somebody lose their life. Sometimes it go too far. I'm not speaking on this situation right now, just talking in general where it can't be worked out. I get it, but just know what you up against, man. The nigga you think that's helping you, your half-brother or whoever, might be a nigga that's out here, hey, nigga, he did this. We talked about that. We talked about the money. He was trying to get the money. I was on this and this and that, and I will testify on him. That's why I say, man, in the end, it's better to work it out, stay away if possible, man. 1,000, stay on your pivot, more company.